Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout New Vegas. Now, I've slept since the last recording and sometimes I will complain about having just forgotten about where I was and what was going on after that. But in this game, uniquely, I kinda know for a fact that in the last episode we really didn't do that much, because we really haven't done that much at all in the game, or at least it just doesn't feel like it. So we were moving forward to Ranger Station Foxtrot, basically, and we were kind of just working our way around the top of the strip. We found one shack that moved maybe the story around Prim and Vicky and Vance around a little bit further. But it definitely feels like there should be more quests that we would have gotten at Prim in the first place. And we just haven't. So overall, it just feels like the whole path of the game is to go all the way in one big circle at least once before you even really have opened up the game fully. That being said, I also have to remember that there is a bomb that's going to go off as soon as I turn in a quest to blow up the monorail. And then I think we'll probably just fast travel and to like here and see if we can walk this way to finish this quest. There is also a massive need. Yes, we should get going. Let's see if we can actually work our way through all of this.
That sweetie sure is something.
I don't even know who Sweetie is. So I have this gun that I collected for it's Vicky and Vance's gun, and we're gonna give it a try. Don't really have a lot of bullets for it. And looking here as we get further and further away from New Vegas, you start to see on the edges here what is very much an empty wasteland desert. Whereas ideally, if you weren't just trying to make something that would represent Las Vegas, you'd probably have a bit of the city and then a bombed out section that is kind of wasteland that would be maybe from the wall to maybe right about there of just emptiness. Well, just enough for like a rad scorpion or a gecko to potentially spawn, and a rad roach, and then some more city, and just kind of have chunks of city. Fallout 3 didn't handle it any better, though, because in the case of Fallout 3, you are entering a lot of the main northern city via a metro station, and it is its own separated section that is just not really interconnectable to the rest of the city sections without getting into a train or a metro station. New Vegas is better in that it has a more linear 4 or 5 element. So here's a question: what's a Cadzor? Because the door, and is it deadly? Doesn't seem too deadly, but it does seem to me like yep. Let's go ahead and get away from this gun. This gun's not going to help me. Let's try this one instead. This is one of those rare cases. Apparently I'm poisoned at the moment. That's something that's not really usually happening in Fallout 3. I don't think you ever get poisoned in Fallout 3. It does give me an excuse, certainly, to drink some sunset sarsaparillas, though. If I'm losing like 5, drinking 3 would counter that. But yeah, with this higher land mass, it is going to be more difficult.
Trouble.
Who's attacking where? What is that splashing sound effect I'm hearing? So I can't even like target those enemies over there, and I'm seeing more enemies over here. What you really would like to have here is a perk. What in the world caused an explosion there? You would like a perk that would refill your action points when you get a kill. And frankly, that should really just be default gameplay, I think, for most people. Like, it is going to be so beneficial to have that kind of perk just to keep gameplay going forward. That you're really just slowing down the player for no good reason if you don't have that perk. I do need to be somewhat careful as far as Felicia Day's voice actor Veronica health. So let's get her back up to a higher level. It would be nice if you could be certain you're getting all of the poison glands here. Not sure poison glands are particularly helpful for me, and I kind of feel like that sound effect is probably trying to tell me that I'm still poisoned.
Got my eyes peeled.
Here we can cheat
Still looking.
by staying parallel until the ground changes a little bit to get higher. But I'm not sure our companion's going to be able to follow. It may very well be a case where the companion just will magically teleport behind me and I'm not looking if I get far enough away from them. This is definitely more of what I was expecting, though, is that you would start to go in 3 of the 4 cardinal directions and you would run into enemies that would be very difficult and very deadly. But I'm not really running into that problem too much. Are we supposed to do something with these nests, or are they going to just come from them? Yeah, I think it may very well be a case where these are mutated wasps. Paper wasps. That would make sense. And at almost level 15, I am now at a point where I can kind of handle myself with the gun I have right now. I'm actually doing damage. It isn't just...
Trouble.
There's a lot here. I would like the experience from killing all of these, but there's also... Still getting the kill cam. Still benefiting from being helped by our companions. These are larger groups of enemy than what I normally would expect.
For the Brotherhood.
Okay. So what I'm thinking here is I'm still trying to probably get my guns up a little bit higher. Still trying to get lockpicking up to 80. Trying to get medicine probably up to 80. I really haven't run into as many books as I would have liked. Yeah. And things like barter, energy, weapons, all kind of secondary. So 60 on that. Science is too high. Sneak up to 25? Sure. We'll do that. Speech is at 60. And then I think what my goal here would be is to probably put some balancing here. Like that. I think that would work kind of nicely. I'm hoping these poison glands are worth something. There's a kind of massive amount of caps you need if you're going to get the perks. Yeah, I want to talk to Veronica, but I guess I'm going to have to try and get her to come out closer, and she's stuck in the pathfinding, so I'm going to have to wait till she teleports. It looks to me like these insects do have the capability of taking down humans. Map-wise, though, we're not even into the big, tall areas. And so if there is something in this plateau over here, I have to wonder if there isn't going to be some vertibird helicopter airplane concept. And this almost feels like this is an invisible wall stopping me from going that way. Ranger Station Foxtrot. There's not really a road leading in that direction, so I suppose what we'll do is we'll work our way around, and if worst came to worst, we'll just go to Vault 3 and then work our way down to the next area. There really needs to be a better way to make blocked paths, in my opinion. This has gotten, by modern standards, severely overused. I want to keep this gun too, so I think I may see if I can craft more bullets. And yeah, if we don't accomplish anything quest-wise, at the very least, we can just go on a hunting expedition. And yeah, I'm still in a pretty good position to lighten my load, drinking all the sunset sarsaparillas. Now remember, I am playing on the absolute easiest mode, so it almost certainly would be a different experience. Let's see. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure our health was high. You don't have to worry about Eddie's health. He seems to be immortal and regenerate. I think he's a DLC companion, and that's why I have two companions. It would also make a lot of sense for the VATS to not allow you to, by default, target enemies. I mean, companions. At the very least, don't target companions. Better yet, don't target... I'm just going to go ahead and use a super stim pack on myself. And then we can hear Veronica. It says she must be poisoned, but her health is actually pretty high. We can see visual glitches popping in and out. We're still trying to just get to the top of the mountain. Yeah, and this is very reminiscent of Skyrim, in which there is a single way in which they have built a road and a mountain path that you climb up to the top of a very important mountain. The one mountain that you really can climb to the top of in Skyrim. And then there's a bunch of other hills or smaller mountains that end up being in your way, often for only time wasting reasons, where you're attempting to maneuver yourself like this. And inherently this has to be just labeled as bad game design. Like, what should happen is that you should have, I don't know, something on the map that tells you this is the direction that you're intended to use to get to the top of the mountain. Or you should have a hiking character, Sherpa guide type character that would run up to you any time you came near a mountain and said, this is the way, this is the path you're supposed to go. Or you should just have an incredibly sharp section. There's a danger here, I'll fall to my death. Probably worth saving. Let's go ahead and just make a safety save. Yeah. At the very least, I think you can applaud the stamina system that Nintendo experimented with in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. In that, I don't know what I just got XP for. do believe Veronica has decided to run down there and fight some fire geckos. Yeah. The stamina system at least somewhat gamifies that experience. So that you're supposed to try and climb, but also you're supposed to also increase your stamina so you can climb. In modern games, climbing is, if you see a surface, even if it is fully flat up, it can just be pre-programmed to be climbable. Whereas this is more just running the mathematical physics calculations to see if something would be climbable or not. The fact that I'm getting 50 XP for killing all these things, I think also probably highlights that we have leveled up now. We're making progress towards challenges / achievements. I'm kind of empty on storage stuff, so I can kind of just take everything at the moment. Well, I guess it's time to go to Vault 3. The only other thought is that maybe this path and this road leads to a way up, and that is the way to get to that. But Vault 3 is closer. It does look interesting. Still not seeing any death claws. Not seeing anything too unique or too interesting. Not seeing enough people on the road in general. Now this Vault 3, to my thought, the vaults should be like Fallout 3's vaults, and in that sense, everything should have its own interesting sub-game experience, basically. It should feel almost like a completely different thing when we get into the vaults. But I think Vault 3 may not even really be a vault. It may be a casino or advertisement for the vaults. There is a like Vault 4 that they use in a commercial in the Fallout TV series. I think it was Vault 4. Apparently there's twins here. Just getting 10 XP for beans. And we have a character here named Violet, who's just marked as... She's shooting at me, I might as well shoot back at her. We now have Violet's head. Apparently there might have been some kind of quest to collect Violet's head. And there's gotta be better ways. Human flesh and dog bowls. There really has got to be a better way to get people into a quest so that they would experience the quest in the correct order instead of simply having somebody find a character named Violet, kill a character named Violet, and then possibly finding a quest to kill Violet as the last step. And then that just makes the players, the programmers of the game also have to do more work. Also, because now they have to write and program for a scenario where the quest is already finished before and it's been done out of order. I also wanted to mention Violetta's brain. Yep, I did look it up. This game, Fallout New Vegas, is made with the Gamebryo engine. I thought that was correct. I had seen that.
Still looking.
But it is worth pointing out that Fallout 4, Skyrim, and all of the Bethesda main games use the Creation engine, which is a variation on the Gamebryo engine.
Still looking.
So there is, I don't know why I'm saying still looking, or whether somebody else is saying that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm voicing things. I've never heard my character voice anything out loud before.
Got my eyes
So
peeled.
there's a slight possibility that Creation Engine version 1 or Creation Engine version 2 for Starfield might be slightly better, slightly more polished. I would heavily suspect that it's not the case.
Got my eyes peeled.
Maybe just a little less. Yeah, I think that's Veronica. Let's see. Talking.
You can't help but notice that the Brotherhood barely exists to these people out here. We're like an urban myth, no real presence on the outside. We just don't adapt like we should. Used to be that all you needed to get your way was a suit of power armor and a laser rifle. Now, people are armed and organized. They're not afraid. But we still stick to our old approach because it's all we know.
So this is Felicia Day. And I guess we have a whole choice here.
I think you're right. We're getting desperate. Hardly enough people to sustain ourselves as a chapter. They'll see the light, sooner or later. But I get the feeling if I don't take matters into my own hands, the change won't come in time to make a difference.
So,
Step into my office.
I'm not sure what. See, and if you stay
into
in
my office.
this, you just have to do this over and over again.
See you
Yeah,
around.
that's just not a good way to craft things, and I actually need the weapon reloading station anyways. So, what I'd have to do is come over here, find that this is 20 gauge shotguns, talk to Eddie, and then make ammo. So what do I need to craft 20 gauge? 20 gauge buckshot. Is that really what I'm using, or 20 gauge slugs? I need powdered pistol and primers of a shotgun shell. Okay. So if I break down 12 gauges, instead, and then we'll craft 20 gauge buckshot or 20 gauge slugs. probably want slugs. I don't think any of these are right, though. That's not what I was looking at the wrong gun. I need .308. Start over again. So to craft .308s, we need large rifle primers in rifles. So we don't have any large rifle bullets. Primer small rifles. We'll try it anyways here. Yeah. So I think what we have here is an issue where I have a large rifle that's working very nicely right now, and I'm not picking up any bullets for that large rifle. So I can use this rifle for the moment for about 96 more shots, and then I'm not going to be able to use this gun anymore. It's just going to wait into that one. There was a dog trapped in that one, basically. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to... Wait. Let's see. So they just have a trapped dog in there. So this just feels like this is a theme based with a lot of dogs, and seems like that's pretty much it. And Violet seemed to be the only human in the location. So killing Violet and getting Violetta's brain seems like that was everything you could do there. So I would think Vault 3 may have given us a quest to go and do that. This is the kind of smaller areas I would expect in New Vegas, is to have just kind of areas like this where it's mostly bombed out. It still feels like there was a building there at one time, but it's not actively expecting you to go inside of a building and investigate anything. Or South Vegas ruins. Do we have to go into the South Vegas ruins to get to Vault 3? I think we probably do.
Hey.
Remember, these are Kim fiends. We've got a lot of laser guns. It seems like they're fighting back with laser guns. Driver Neffy. The fact that these are named characters, I think, does show that there is a alternate way to play here, in which you would have sided with the fiends more. I don't really see how you could have done that, though. That seems like that would just be really playing as a bad guy. We are just collecting people's heads now. From this distance, not really getting hits off. So really, I'm just wasting bullets. Lever action shotgun. %, hit chances. I would expect more of this also. Just finding ammunition boxes, having the ammunition boxes take a bunch of lockpicking. Of course, if you are in the middle of doing other things, do you really want to lockpick while you're running and shooting? Advance's gun can be repaired. Fiend's battle helmet, I think we can drop. We could probably also drop this one. And let's not go any further in this direction. It does seem like there's an opportunity to run around the entirety of this area and hunt down fiends. And we may do that, but first things first, I think, is to go into this ruins, get into Vault 3, see if that at least gives us a shopkeeper to sell items. Sell all those radioactive poison glands. Nope. Well, I wasn't expecting that. There's almost an argument to just picking up these varmint rifles.
When I find you, I'm gonna eat your You like this?
So this is a whole other area. We kind of know what kind of weapons fiends have. You're seeing parts of their bodies getting knocked around very far. Fiend Vault 3. We've discovered Vault 3. You would think that they would wait until you actually saw something instead of just saying you found Vault 3 when visually I'm not seeing a Vault 3. And if this vault is not a Vaultco vault, but just something else labeled as a vault, well, then that's gonna heavily feel like they just have decided to label something else as a vault, as a way of advertising this game as having vaults in it. When everybody would definitely expect it to be vaults. Those have been the only kinds of vaults that have been in Fallout games, to my knowledge, up until this point. It is a little surprising that the Fiends have any electric weapons. Seems like 2 people have just been knocked on. What happened? Veronica's here, Eddie's here. Did I set off some kind of EMP trap? They got knocked unconscious kind of briefly. Maybe they got hit by a rocket? As it is at the moment, Fallout is still very popular, although as of today of recording, they also just shut down several Bethesda subsidiaries that don't work on Fallout, which is causing controversy whenever there's studios being shut down and layoffs. See, that's a great example. We're about to enter battle. We hear Eddie playing his music, and I'm pausing the time to instead lockpick. But yeah, one of the questions that people are discussing and asking is, how often do people really play with the power armor and power suits? Because power suits are inherently heavy and slow down gameplay, and not really necessary in the vast majority of most of the time that you're going to play a Fallout game. It's only when you're going into certain regions where you know a boss is going to be, which there aren't bosses in this game, which that's another thing, is probably would make some sense if there were more bosses. Fallout 3 had like one super mutant boss that they experimented with, but most of the time there really weren't boss fights. Is the store going to go? That goes to Fiend territory, whatever that means, whether that's outside or whether that is just deeper. Probably need to use the local map just to get a general idea of where we're going and what we're doing. It would also hurt to once again drink some of these sunset sarsaparillas. There's been some points here where I've gotten hit somewhat hard. Zapped neons signs. Let's clear the entire area first before we go inside any buildings. Of course, I don't know for certain that I'm not just going to yeah, I don't know for certain that I'm not going to just respawn enemies in this area. This may just be a hunting ground territory where you could enter, kill a bunch of people, and then wait a few hours and then kill a bunch more people. There's there is an actual neon sign graveyard in Las Vegas where some artist, I think, bought a bunch of old signs from a bunch of old casinos and put them up in the desert. Is this guy gonna attack me? Well, he's gonna take his sweet time. I'm starting to question also if me shooting outside of vats may have higher accuracy for some reason outside of vats than inside of vats, which that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. It shouldn't work that way. Let's see if we could. Guess we can cook gecko steaks. Does that make it more valuable to sell them? Not sure. That says fiend territory also. So I assume when it says fiend territory, it's probably just going outside the perimeter. You would think being crippled would mean something more in the game, but kind of doesn't. It doesn't really slow you down. I wouldn't want a Fallout game to be all of just this, though. I do think the balance of Wasteland is probably a little too high, and that there could be more of these types of locations where there's just more humans who are defending territory who will actually shoot at you, versus Wasteland, which seems to extremely rarely even have animals. Like, overall it feels like it would just make a lot of sense to have rad roaches be very prominent and very commonplace in Fallout games. Just let those numbers get higher and higher as far as how many rad roaches would be in a location, to the point where you're basically doing a zombie game. Like, with the Gamebryo engine, I have to assume the Gamebryo engine was the only engine to use when these games were being made many years ago, but I really don't believe you need to stick to the Gamebryo engine at this point. Like, it definitely feels to me like it would make more sense to just use the Unreal Engine to make games like this, and I don't think there really would be any limitation on the Unreal Engine that would prevent you from making games like this. There's a lot of these torture scenes in Fallout 3, and they always felt out of place in Fallout 3, but in New Vegas, with all the gore and cussing and slight nudity, like, it feels more in place. And That being said, I don't know if this is supposed to be really that horrific, or if this is just to show how awful the fiends are. So that does look like a vault door. Definitely feels like they should have limited you, however, to only discovering
Power armor,
the vault.
energy weapons, and they're giving the NCR more trouble than we ever did.
So this looks like a vault. The door is activated somewhere else via panel.
What the fuck are you doing here? You got some kind of fucking death wish, asshole?
Now they're willing to talk to me. Now, so speech is at 60 out of 64. I didn't realize our speech could ever require 60. 64. I would have thought it would always be round numbers, 65. So, do I have a chance of succeeding here?
Who the fuck you trying to kid? You're lucky if I let you walk away from this asshole. Final warning, asshole. Get the fuck out of here or we are gonna waste your ass.
Alright.
Yeah, fuck off and be grateful you're still breathing.
So we can either leave, or we can just start shooting. So on that aspect, it definitely feels like, unlike in Fallout 3, there are at least one vault here that has been fully and successfully taken over by a group of topsiders. Yeah, obviously there would have been a different experience here if we were friends with the fiends. I can't imagine making that moral choice. Inherently, if you make a game and there's maybe one or two good guy choices for the player, and then there's 6 different ways in which you can side with bad guys, that's not going to feel balanced to me, and it's not going to appeal to me. Like I think a good percentage of players, most players, want to play as a good guy, at least somewhat good guy in a role-playing game. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You like the sight of your own blood?
I don't really need karma, so just letting our power-fisted character punch every enemy, or Eddie shoot every enemy, is the right way to go. Now this is a vault, so I would expect that there might be something fairly valuable. I'm also, though, going to start to fill up on inventory items fairly quickly. Nothing too special in here. Never really seems like there is. So why is this one drawer darker than all the others? Probably because of a visual glitch, if I was to guess. One would assume that they just trashed this whole vault. That guy was programmed to be doing push-ups, which is an animation you probably don't need in a game like this. Yep. Does seem like there's more graffiti happening in this whole area. Different people's names graffitied on the wall. I wonder if there's supposed to be some environmental storytelling happening here. The Vault 3 maybe was around the idea of propagating the human species, and so they were very much all about romance and procreation. Or maybe this was a vault full of kids, thus the graffiti. The danger on this, though, would silence SMG. If I take that, I've got to get rid of something else. So, get rid of that, get rid of that. You know, frag mines, I guess, aren't that valuable. Get rid of the hunting rifle, the knife. Shotgun, maybe not doing that much damage. Do we have any miscellaneous stuff we could get rid of that have weight? Well, that freed up some space. I wish the game itself could since we are injured, let's go ahead and use a stim pack. Although I probably should just use a doctor's bag.
When I find you, you can your spleen.
Yeah. Probably gonna have to use the local map just to make sure I've seen everything. There's a lot of opportunity here to miss a room. We're getting XP at a much higher rate, feels like now. So here's all your pool balls, baseballs, pool cues, pre-war books, Nuka-Colas. Which has quite a lot of space that it takes up for the Nuka-Colas. So if Nuka-Colas were just in the real world, and then instead of being in the inventory boxes, there would be less room for other junk to be collected think I've probably gotten my karma back up to as high as it can go. Because I don't seem to be getting any more karma for killing fiends. That, or it's just no longer willing to give me karma for killing fiends. So I think there's an upper section here that isn't much of anything. So this is, I guess, a doctor section. I imagine there's probably a doctor section, a trading section, and probably a leader section in every place that might have been a camp or base. I wonder if some of these names on the walls are people who worked on the game or otherwise maybe funded the game, supported it in some way. This game is too old to have been kickstarted or something like that, but who knows. Okay. We came in there. There's Vault 3 living quarters, Vault 3 living quarters, and maintenance wing. So let's go see the maintenance wing, and then we'll remind ourselves to go and check the living quarters later. Well, it doesn't seem like we can do that, so I guess we'll now go check the living quarters. And my guess probably is going to be that what it is we'll have to find a key to get into the maintenance wing. I don't think we've been in here, though it is very worth pointing out that this design and layout is almost certainly just directly copy and pasted from the Fallout 3 beginning section. Not exact copy and paste, but it's the same 3D models, same general concept. Although at a certain level it kind of does make sense that vaults would be repetitive. You'd think there would be more drugs. In all these sections, but yeah. Not really running into a lot of drugs. We're running into a lot of empty syringes. And some drugs are helpful, like ran away, whereas other drugs are less helpful. It just looks like it's just food. And there just seems to be a considerable smaller influence on purified water. Nobody really seems to care if you have it. Nobody seems to really be looking for it. I think I'm over encumbered. That still doesn't get me fully below. must be sitting on something that is very heavy. When did I get an engraved cigarette lighter? Seems like it might be worth it just to drop this shotgun. Let's just drop it, yeah. You know what? I think we can probably... He's not holding anything, so... Probably just put weapons away. And he can't carry any of that. And then we can give him anything that's particularly heavy. Yeah. Now I see what it was filling up our inventory there. Because I had a bunch of purified waters and dog meat. Clearly there needs to be a better system here that tells you and sorts things by weight. Because that would make it so obvious. There's a program that is designed to show you which files are taking up the most files on your computer, and there's several variations on that program that have been since the original version of the program so old. Can't remember the name of it, but I think it's called Windtree is one of the newer variations on it that I would recommend because it's a little bit faster in Windows. Something like that system though, where it shows you boxes of different colors and then shows you what is taking the most of your space would help. Although in fairness, if you looked at like something similar to Resident Evil 4, they definitely limit your inventory in Resident Evil 4 and gamify the experience of limiting your inventory. Of course, they don't also give you a bunch of garbage to pick up. So we went full circle there. But that would be ideally what I would like to see, is that there would be a system where you visually see each item in your inventory and you can visually see how much space it's taking up. Okay, so this is the way in, and I think this may be a way out, because I don't think you can really get to this. I think there's like a secret passage that opens that way up. And maintenance wing, I wouldn't be surprised if we just wrap all the way around. I'm expecting we go in here and somebody could be talking to us. Did hear somebody scream, but for all I know, that was just a war cry. Okay. So we will pick the door. 40 XP. Then we will hack the terminal, and hopefully we can hack the terminal fairly quickly. Obviously I'm not very good at these. That's where increasing luck probably would help too. Okay, so we did see speech check at 64, so let's increase our speech to 65 too. Also. And then repair skills, probably not that helpful. Barter skills, maybe? If we saw something go on speech up to 65, there is an argument to bringing up barter by 5. And then we have 7 skills to remain. So if we went 2 here, 2 here, and then 2 here, and then survival or guns. Let's continue to push 1 into guns. Now, as far as quests go, don't think we have anything new. I still would like to get a couple of these. I don't think any of these, though, would So if I did tag right now, I could get 15 points instantly. There's a thought to doing that, but then there's also a thought to just keep on doing intensive training until they say we can't do intensive training anymore. 15 points might be the next step. Okay, so we're gonna choose intensive training still. And we're gonna do endurance high, up to I think 10, because I think we've already increased our endurance at the medical facility. So yeah, 1 more intensive training after this to get to endurance to 10, to be able then to use the medical facility to increase all of our stats by at least 1, if not more. It does seem like with the medical facility you potentially are going to just be able to get a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 special, which if you could do that, then your base stats are already going to be very high. So you have a teddy bear, you have a toy, a broken terminal. Cigarettes, pre-war money, wonder glue. You have a bed, queen-size bed, pre-war books.
Howdy.
That sounds like a ghoul. You have toys. And the game has crashed. Which, you know what, that's going to give me an opportunity to take a little bit of a break. So I'm going to pause the recording, take a break, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So we're going to have to redo all of this again. I wonder if some of these crashes aren't due to audio elements crashing, just coming in and out. It might be the case. Like, it's kind of hard. It's impossible to know, but yeah. Capacity 2. So continue. Sneaking 2. It's not IN. It could be. Could be contains. It is contains. Alright, brother, we got it. But yeah, before it crashed, we did hear a whole elements there of let's see, what do we want to also put one more into? That's probably a good one. Every time I do this, I'm changing a lot of my decisions here too. But yeah, I wonder if maybe we heard what sounded like a ghoul and that caused the audio dialogue to crash.
Trouble. Watch out.
Or if it has nothing to do with the audio and it just crashes randomly no matter what. Yep. This is a proper vault, and it does seem like there were kids here, and that there's kind of a heavy emphasis on there being kids here. But I don't know if there's any more story to it than that we're actually going to get. And I question if maybe we're picking up more components to bullets because we've kind of just leveled up our gameplay, and as such they know we're going to be doing more crafting of bullets. I'm going to take this 9 iron. And there was a mine. If we look at the local map, that's the recreation area. I think that's where we were before, so we're not ready to take on that. Just come down here. There should probably be
You thought you could hide from me?
some more people. Man, I'm a bad shot.
Trouble.
And see, it doesn't seem to me like you lose the opportunities to get a critical if you just shoot things without using VATS. Definitely feels like they want to make VATS be a optional thing. Okay. When you see the bobby pins jiggle, I also assume that that means you're higher chance of breaking things. Defender, just it doesn't start DE. Immersed. So it definitely seems like there was a whole quest here, and will we get the experience Yeah, I really don't even want to spend any energy on this. I just am going to take 3 guesses and move on. Like, am I going to get the experience for finishing a quest I haven't even started? I should, otherwise there's not a great way. So planning has 3, so sneaking at that point also has 3, so we know it's ing. Engaging. So it's probably fighting. Yep. I don't think there were any other options. But also I was just willing to risk it. And potentially lose 40 XP. You really have to question though, like, what is the experience to be had? Otherwise, if you were to run around and not do any of this, like if you wanted to not hack, if you were to not lockpick, you would have to just hope your strength was at an extremely high level, and by having your strength at an extremely high level, you would be able to Carter's corpse. Carter's dead. I wonder if he was accidentally shot in the whole process of the firefight. Yeah, I suppose if your strength was really, really high, you might be able to force locks and just force the lockpick open. And then that would solve the lockpicking element of that. But I don't know if there's another way to accommodate that thought or work around having low lockpick and low science skills. So it definitely feels like your choices are very limited. Here's your observer's office, which will probably have one computer in there that will tell us what the backstory was supposed to be of Vault 3. Which, you know, who knows, maybe Vault 3 didn't have a secret experiment going on inside of it, but seems like pretty much all of the vaults did, with perhaps the exception of a Vault 0, if such a thing is ever going to be revealed. Probably would be revealed in the TV series at this rate. Why does he seem to indicate like there's all kinds of controls on this panel, and you'd think this means something. It doesn't mean much to me though. Now, I don't know how interesting the story really could even be if it does turn out that
When I find you, I'm gonna eat your spleen.
if they do explain what is going on. So there is an enemy somewhere around here, but I think he's behind the wall, either behind this wall or behind the passage here. Okay. Seems like the game might crash again. Can we save? Not in this interface. Alright, Devastation, 2 of 11. Researching, second one, exact match, 50 XP. And we're gonna have to actually read here, I think. So, happy birthday. It's from George Stahl to Janet Kemper. Sweet 16 at last. Can you believe it seems like yesterday my sister told me she was going to have a little girl. Do you have big plans for your birthday? I think if you are interested, I could talk to some folks and get the dining room reserved for a couple hours. Let me know if that sounds like fun, and I'll start getting the ball moving. Uncle George. Well, that seems like that is just an email for a happy birthday. Nothing too suspicious there. George, we've been friends for a while, so I hope you don't take my candidacy for overseer personally. I'm going to do whatever I can to keep our friends and family safe, and if that means taking our exposure to the outside world slow and keeping to ourselves outside of what we need, of course, then that is what I'm going to push for. No one knows what it is going to be like out there. It could be horrific mutants or strange wandering vagabonds, aliens, murderous gangs. We have no idea. And then there is all of that. Let's be smart about this. So they were running an election to see if they were going to open the doors and leave the vault. Mike. Now, weirdly, none of the vaults seem to really have like cameras outside their vaults, even though cameras clearly exist, or any other way. No windows to look to the outside to investigate. It definitely doesn't feel like the vaults were designed to ever really be opened. Or maybe they were supposed to be opened when somebody else from the outside opened them and gave the all clear. Let's see. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for putting your trust in me. I'm honored to serve as your overseer. This is George Stolt for the next term and hopefully beyond. I'm going to do everything I can do to get Michael's committee outside as soon as possible. Or is that Michelle's? That's probably Michelle's committee. We'll get our water issues resolved and form lasting bonds with our neighbors in the world outside. Thank you again for putting your trust in me, George Stolt, overseer. It may be a case too that Vault 3 was already mentioned or seen in Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 or Fallout Tactics. But yeah, I wouldn't really remember that. Weapons locker. George, I'm not sure why Michael is planning, but I suggest you leave the weapons in those two submerged storerooms. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any support, and there is no need to give him the opportunity to arm himself. Michelle. Crazy to have a Michael and a Michelle in the story. You definitely should change one of those names. Now we're unlocking these storage room doors. So I think we went around there to get to the other area. Which, if that is the case, then yeah, I am kind of confused. It looks like there's more to the map that I haven't seen yet in this direction. We'll have to figure out how to get there.
Watch out!
Watch out!
Getting dangerously close to over encumbering myself. So it seems, let's go ahead and make a save. Anyways, seems to me like there's no big twist here. Vault 3 jumpsuit. Now, what I wanted to do with all those outfits, we can do this with several things, I think, is to repair some of this. No reason to keep the dirty versions of things. Alright, so that's enough of that. We don't need to spend too much time on that. Yeah. It does just seem to me like they had you do some very basic elections. There's no scientific experiment from the looks of it. I guess maybe that would make some sense too, that the first few vaults on the east may be legitimate vaults, and then they may have just gotten bored and started to do crazier things. Okay. Sexy sleepwear. Vault 3 jumpsuit. Vault utility jumpsuit. Pre-war relax wear. And I just don't think that there's a real value in holding on to grimy or dirty outfits. Although I might be misinterpreting the value of things, and it may just be that there's a descriptor of things that are dirty and grimy, but that doesn't actually lower their value. I haven't been using the flashlight, so hopefully this area has been easy enough to view. Probably has. You know, I haven't seen Veronica in a while. Let's go back and check that Veronica's still alive. I assume she's just here. Yep, her health is fine. She's just standing there for one reason or another. So that's fine. Just don't want her to have somehow accidentally died, tripped on something. Cool and loving it. Yeah, maybe this is somehow they turned into ghouls because they left the vault too early and got irradiated. Or maybe ghouls or genetically engineered, or possibly a after effect of taking drugs. Clearly you can see that drug usage is dangerous in this world. It's a lot of bloody and bruisingness though. And this kind of like ragdolling, slow, zoomed in look of bodies doesn't help the Fallout games, I don't think. I think it is better to keep everything fun and light and silly, not show the true horrors of what something like that would be. Business wear, business wear, business wear. Casual wear. Utility jumpsuit. And this is really just some OCD collecting. Go ahead and use the doctor's bag while we're at it too. Like, if you really needed these items, you would just go back to Vault 3 to get the items. Collecting them for a game that has not even given us a house yet, where we could even drop things off, is very silly. And repairing things to a high level is only going to get you a little bit more in caps when you can find somebody who has money to even spend to purchase the caps. Picking up all these drugs just because they're zero weight items. Sexy sleepwear, jumpsuits. We really need to figure out what the value on this is. Let's just drop that. Yeah, these are not of real value. So if I have more than one, I should get rid of it. Just leave all of that there. You can see some major visual glitching there, determining whether or not they're gonna show the textures or not. Alright, so the next step is to go down into this area, which this is irradiated. So let's see, what are we going to find in this irradiated, I guess, underwater section? Oh, this is underwater. So I am dying. There's our, that's Veronica.
Find you, I'm gonna eat your spleen.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
You know what? It is gonna be a dress. There's some naughty nice wear. There's some outfits.
Aw, you shouldn't have. It's just my taste. Thank you.
Of course, she's still just wearing the power armor. Right, so I'm gonna have to re-look and see where we are. As far as... yeah, we're at like the safety save. Just trying to be really quick on all of this since we're doing it a second time. Now the game didn't crash, so I can only really blame myself this time for... it's crazy that they would let you sleep in a bed with a corpse, with a body in it. I'm not sure how we're gonna get the water section addressed.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
I've never had a companion.
Hey, a dress. Thank you. I am totally trying this on later.
Yeah, I've never had a companion that wanted to dress up, although that does give you an interesting... there's nothing here. Otherwise, that might increase the whole dress up concept in the video games, the Fallout games, if you had a companion that was all about dressing up and changing their outfits. I could see making a change there, making a move to have companions do more of the role-playing elements.
You like the sight of your own blood?
The sight of your own blood?
Prison King. Maintenance key. This was Daniel. I don't think any of the names here had any connection to the names on the walls. Would anything allow me to swim or breathe underwater? Yeah, if there was some kind of ability to swim and breathe underwater, there would be a couple of places where that would make a lot of sense. You certainly could see them making the game more focused on that kind of level design where half of the world could have been underwater in irradiated water, and that could have blocked your path when traversing the world in an early gameplay time frame, and then eventually you would gain an ability to swim, which would make you capable of moving around the whole world.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? can have. It's just my taste. Thank you.
Compose automated blast message. Still seeing teddy bears. I feel like a lot of these pre-war world books maybe, just maybe, would have been skill up books if I wasn't doing so well. There's nothing on these terminals. This is just gonna end. See, this is just backstory stuff that honestly I don't think it really is saying too much. Every single room looks just to be about the same. Definitely doesn't feel like there's anything more. So I don't think we want to drain. I don't think we should. Apparently I didn't investigate this side. This run through. But we kind of know there's nothing here. Unless utility jumpsuits. I suppose we should check that. Do utility jumpsuits do anything? They give us +5 repair and +5 lockpicking. So there's an argument to keep them around. And I think we can just go ahead and make a safety save here and release these people.
Howdy.
Howdy. Take down this password. It'll get you into the Overseer's area upstairs, I think. Thanks for the help. We'll find our own way out.
So we got some XP. This is Rachel, Dennis, and Rick Lancer. They're all just gonna sneak up there. That would have given us a password to get into the Overseer's office if there was any real threat around that. I don't think there really is a threat. Interesting that there's a tire there. And then let's go and check the maintenance wing, but no, let's not. Let's go back and see if we can go this way. This was the way with the mine. There's a tripwire trap with grenades. I lack the explosives skills. And then my companion, I think, just set off a trap there. sure, playing on very easy, you can get away with this. But playing on normal or hardcore, you would assume you'd be blown up. We have the character.
How the hell did you get in here? And who the hell are you?
Let's see. Oh, I guess I was supposed to be celebrating. Rescuing this guy.
Shu sent you? This was my mission. You can go back to old Shu and tell him that the mission will be completed. I just need a couple more days. What's it look like? I caught one in the leg. I killed a dozen of those degenerates sneaking my way in, but one got a drop on me. I holed up here after I killed that one. They're too stupid to unlock the door, so I knew they'd figure whoever attacked had just taken off. I just need a day or two, then I'll take out Motor Runner myself. I even got his key to the maintenance wing. Situation's under control.
Okay, we can medicine. We can't speech our way here, so we need our speech to go up.
God damn it. I know. Was just hoping that, are you trained as a doctor? Can you fix my leg?
Let's see. So I could give him a doctor's bag. Or tell him to head to McCarran.
What are you waiting for? I've got a high-value target to kill.
So it definitely is a case here where the quests and stories are just overlapping, and so I'm running into a character that I had completely forgotten about and was not on my radar as far as what was going to happen in Vault 3. Go and take those bullets. And looks like we can take some frag mines, become instantly over encumbered.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? Hey, a dress. Thank you. I am totally trying this on later.
So I suppose Veronica could be a potential romance partner, but I'm not sure romance is even a thing in Fallout New Vegas. It would kind of make some sense, and certainly you can romance some of the characters in New Vegas. Here we have the rest of them sneaking out to safety, so suppose we should just watch them sneak out. This is a great example of having AI characters programmed to actually do things and interact with the environment, and not just wasting CPU power and RAM, when it would make a lot more sense for them to have just walked around the corner and disappeared. Or, God forbid, they actually make you do a quest where you are following them and leading them out to the exit. So I guess our high target guy is still in here, and we have to use the key now. I'm almost completely out of bullets for this gun. unfortunately. This gun will play a good role in the future, but I'm going to have to just throw it into some kind of inventory thing. For a while. So it seems like they're emailing about a date. Okay, we came in here. And we've got an average lock here. For 40. Then we'll hack. Conquest is probably a bad one. Does it start CON? Quarters. What is the one thing that Quarters and Conquest would have in the same spot as an E in the second to last, third to last spot? So it can't be connects then. And it really can't be con anything, can it? Stunners. Can't be correct either. Nowadays. Couldn't be correct either. Soldiers. Couldn't be correct. Fortress. That would be the O in the same spot. The S in the same spot. Well, I would have sworn that was right. They don't explain this system. There should be a button somewhere where you could hit pause at least and get an explanation or reminder of what you're even going for here. Whether one correct is one letter in the correct position is correct, or one letter is correct overall. I still also feel like I should have found a snow globe. I feel like the snow globes should be in fairly prominent outside locations, so not inside a desk, but on top of a desk. It is definitely questionable as to why I could get a gun and then not be able to craft the bullets I need for that kind of gun when you're going to introduce a bullet crafting mechanic. And notably, I'm going to be completely out of bullets as soon as I run into this guy.
You like the sight of your own blood?
There's no telling how much of the map is left here. Sorry, alarm clock going off there, which reminds me we have been going long. I guess I am perfectly safe here to just let my companions kill everybody. Although, perfectly safe. Does not take into accounting drinking and not eating. I don't think there's really ever going to be a time where we open a door and there will be a person behind the door. Listened. Well, listened and relieved have different outputs. So the ED may be correct, but the fourth from the right E is wrong. Now we know that the ED was wrong. It's just telling me I was on the wrong track. I don't know if there really is a scientific case here where if you were to just have random words, would you mathematically be able to always win with the amount of information you can get in for guesses? Yes, I do know there is a website that would solve it for you, but that is on the basis of the limited vocabulary of the words being used in these games. If you had the entire vocabulary of the English language, I'm not sure that's the case. Or if you were to take it to just random combinations of letters and not have an actual word involved, would that always be the case? I'm hearing electrical sound effects. I'm thinking this probably should end. Hearing a dog. In a tight quarters, I wouldn't expect there to be a whole bunch of dogs. Here we have Motor Runner with his chainsaw. Quest failed. Abba Dabba honeymoon. I have no idea what that quest is. Let's see if we can see it listed. It seems like a quest I never picked up. And it seems like a quest that just cannot be done. Gash bone Nash. So, yeah. It definitely seems like there would have been a quest here that I could have started, but it seems like it probably would have been a quest. Once again, too.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? Hey, I can't really move now, but I'll follow you in spirit.
Yep. We filled her inventory. Meanwhile, we'll repair guns. and drink one of those too. That may very well be where the fandom of Fallout New Vegas is, and why people feel that Fallout New Vegas is a better experience than Fallout 3, is that it may very well just be the case that that it is replayable, much more of a replayable experience. It is possible maybe I was supposed to find Motor Runner and then I would have been given some kind of dart gun to arrest him. Now, as far as the flooding and the water is concerned, there isn't a terminal or anything that would have drained the water, which is what I was expecting to have happen. So, without any kind of item or outfit that would let me do something more as far as the water is concerned, I don't think it's worth it to go back. And in general, the secret of Vault 3 seems like it will remain a secret. There's something in this corner, but it probably just means I didn't walk to that corner. Let's go and talk to this guy. Well, he's not here. So maybe he left. Well, to just confirm things, we can't fast travel and then fast travel back to Camp McCarran. We have to come over here. And here he is walking home.
Hey, Doc. Thanks for the assistance, Doc. Time for us to go take out Motor Runner?
Let's see, let's ask
Okay,
all the
what
questions.
do you need? The Fiends are a bunch of raider junkie fucks who have been causing a lot of trouble in the area outside of Vegas. Their leader calls himself Motor Runner, and he seems to be the only one with a brain that isn't fully burnt out on chems. The inhabitants of the vault were simple traders. They made a good living for themselves for a couple weeks. Then they caught the Fiends' attention. I don't think they set up any kind of security, stupid fucks. They all got themselves killed. I was sent here to kill Motor Runner, the leader of the Fiends. The NCR hopes that killing Motor Runner will slow down the Fiends' raiding in the area, at least until a new leader comes around. Okay, tell me what's on your mind.
Let's see. Can we just tell him? Think you should head back to the base with a leg to look at. It's probably the right response. Yeah.
God damn it. Fine. Here, take this. Is the...
So we already took care of that. So he's just walking back to the base, which is where also I'm going to fast travel to. Alright, we are outside of Camp McCarran. Let's see.
McLafferty's been riding asses again. Better lay low.
Let's go in here. Okay. So it's gonna be a lot of menu hero, I think, next recording. As far as quests go, we don't want to return that one and talk to the colonel about that. So really all I'm going to do here is see if I can find a trader. And then my next move, I think, is going to just be to fast travel here and then walk here. In fact, let's just fast travel there to start with and see if we can, in the medical facility, get our number of caps up. We have 770 caps right now. The hope is maybe I can craft a bunch of items, and frankly there's an argument to do it all off screen, but whatever, we'll probably do it on screen. And yeah, see if we can find a salesman and then walk our way to either Vault 34 or Ranger Station Bravo. I think we'll probably just walk to Ranger Station Bravo. Let's go ahead and remove the Vault 3 marker, and then we may just have to fast travel here and go up here to get back down to this spot. We may have to follow the path. This looks like this might be the road. Anyways, this has been a fairly long episode. That's going to be it for this one. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching. Thanks.